All
Thank
right,
you.
you all may begin as we are now recording.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm calling to order the DC Silk quarterly meeting for March 19th, 2025. My name is Robert B. Mendes, new the chair. I'd like to introduce our special guest, Dr. Shannon Austin, the director of RSA. And we have another guest here today, and her name is Heidi Case. Thank you. And uh, roll call, and we will start with those that are on the Zoom. We can start with Kathy.
Yes, this is Kathy Fleming.
Brittany.
Corcoran Street, Northeast. Excuse me, are people able to share their organization? That would be helpful.
Okay,
Possible.
well, I don't know if you all can hear because my Zoom is not acting up. So I did say my name and my organization. So it's like it's going in and out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so this is Kathy Fleming. I am the vice chair of the SILC.
Thank you. Brittany Stuckey.
Brittany Stuckey from the DC Center for Independent Living.
We'll go this way.
Yes, Dr. Shannon Austin, I'm with, I'm the new, well, not so new, RSA Deputy Director, so it's a pleasure to be here for conversation today.
My name is Brittany Tarver. I'm with DDS RSA. I'm the architect for PR General Service.
I'm Angie Whitehurst.
Thank you. My name is Robert Mendes. I am the chair of the DC Statewide Independent Living Center.
My name's Heidi Case, long-term disability and queer and disabled advocate in DC, co-founder of the DMV Disability and Senior Community Meeting. We started at the beginning of the pandemic to support people with disabilities, and we continue to meet weekly via Zoom.
I'm Kim Bellamy, I'm SILC member.
My name is Dr. Damon Johnson, and I am the DDS representative for the SILC, I guess the state liaison.
Darnie Henry Bush, Executive Director to the Statewide Independent Living Council.
Edward Dana, Disability Rights Advocate.
Thank you so much, and I will review the agenda. Item number 1, call to order by Robert T. Mendes, Field Chair. Introduction.
Can you speak up a little?
Oh, excuse me. I'm reading the over the agenda. Item number 1, call to order by Robert T. Mendes, Chair. 2, introduction of special guests. 3 will be roll call. 4 is a review of the agenda. 5 is review of previous January 15, 2026 minutes. 6 will be the executive director summary report of Denise H. Bush. 7 will be the chair's summary report of Robert D. Mendes Newell. 8 is item 8, recruitment report by Brittany Tarver, project manager, PBS and RSA. Item number 9 is old business. Item number 10 is new business. Item 11 will be announcements, and item 12 is adjournment by Robert T. Mendes Newell. Okay, and here is the District of Columbia Statewide Independent Living Council public meeting summary, quarterly reading of January 15, 2026. DC Statewide Independent Living Council held its quarterly meeting on January 15, 2026. The meeting opened with a moment of silence in remembrance of Matthew McCollum, Director of the DC Office of Disability Rights. Highlights for the meeting. Item Item number one, SILC operation and membership. DC SILC currently has 10 active members and recruitment remains a priority. Bullet number two, the council continues to experience delays in the mayor's office of talent and appointments model approved process for new applicants. SILC leadership is preparing a packet or model to emphasize the urgency of filling vacant seats. The last bullet is SILC is revising its bylaws by meet state and federal requirements. Item number two, spill and PPR updates. The SILC is is working with DC RSA and federal technical assistant partners on completing the state plan for independent living this field and the program progress report PPR. Approval of the spill is required before the SILC funding can be released. The last bullet for item two is the spill and the PPR are targeted to resubmission by the end of January. Item three, agenda updates from DCRSA. DCRSA is preparing for upcoming budget hearing. A new Randolph Deputy Vendor Committee has been elected. RSA is enhancing to case management systems and providing ongoing staff training. An open house will be held to welcome RSA new director, Dr. Shannon Austin, and engage community stakeholders. The Vocational Rehabilitation Technical Assistance Center for Quality Management will conduct an organizational assessment to support improvements in services delivered. Item four, community programs and events. DC SILC updates. DC SILC is collaborating with the VODA Coalition and others on emergency preparedness events for residents with disabilities. Workshops will provide readiness information and emergency kits. DC SILC is also launching an 8-week wellness course geared toward individuals with the last item four, SILC will provide support for these events. Item five, recruitment and training. The SILC will continue using the DC SILC ambassador support outreach once training is complete. Members are encouraged to share information about community participation and volunteer opportunities, including the SILC secretary position. Six, other announcements. Ms. Tika Melba is now the program manager for transitional services at DCRSA. Planning for the annual combined consumers forum and youth summit will begin once funding and membership matters are resolved. Last bullet, SILC leadership is exposing steps toward establishing a 501c3 and developing an independent SILC website. Adjournment. The meeting concluded with all members in agreement to SILC express appreciation for member dedication and community involvement. Now we're to the executive director summary report by Diamond Stoops.
Are you gonna accept the minutes as
Oh,
read?
excuse me, I'm sorry.
And also, are there any additions to the agenda before that's accepted?
There's in the new business, I was gonna bring up the issue about the metro access with the problems of transportation.
Okay, you want that added?
Okay, I'd like to enter the minutes into the record. That's okay. Second. And the minutes have been accepted into the record.
So then you ask for a vote.
Can I have a vote?
Or does anyone disagree?
Does anyone disagree? Okay, the minutes have been accepted. Whew. Okay, and now we can go on to the executive director
Well, basically, I have a short report and going by, some of the things on the minutes. Right now, we did submit the PPR. I don't know if that was actually done in February, not January. And, thank goodness the old spill, 2025 to 2027, has been accepted this week. However, we're in the process now doing the amendment. So hopefully the amendment will be short. And the turnaround time will also be short. So we hope for a couple of weeks. Yes,
Does that mean
Heidi.
once it's approved, even sans the amendment, funding is being released or will be? Or
Yes. Yes, funding will be released.
Um,
We have.
I just want to let you guys know that we did get a few more members, or another member joined virtually during the course of reading of the minutes. Someone from the DC SIL team is on, maybe LaKenya. I'm not sure.
It's not clear. Could you repeat it? Because it was sort of garbled.
She's muted too.
Who's there is muted.
From the DC cell.
Yeah, they're muted. They're muted. Usually, that's maybe like LaKenya.
This is Darnice. If you miss roll call, would you introduce yourself now?
They may have logged in and then stepped away from their computer, but I was just bringing it to your attention that someone else had joined. You can continue.
Okay, coming on down on list of things to complete. Um, well, I would ask, in terms of new members, Ms. Tarver will give a report on that after I complete my thing. Basically, we are, the members that we do have are, some of them need computers that are updated, and we also need to start training again. So that's in process for because our Chromebooks work with Google, but they don't work with Word. And so that's a serious problem because the Word Microsoft format was changed in October. So right now we are trying to transition over. The executive committee at least will be getting new computers.
Mr.
We also, because the spill has been done, we are also investigating and plan to hire an administrative assistant. And we want to praise Ms. Stuckey for sticking with us. And praise Charlisa for sticking with us. And praise everybody that's been working their butt off trying to get the typing and all the paperwork done. But hopefully we will be able to get an administrative assistant by next month, hopefully.
Ms. Darnice?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I know my son, this is in regards to the Chromebooks. I know my son's school, they utilize Chromebooks as well. And in order to use the Microsoft Offices, they use have you all looked into like the Microsoft 360, like the online version versus the desktop version? Because they access all of their Microsoft documents or platforms via like the online version. So like Microsoft 360, where you can get to that online. So if your Chromebook doesn't allow you to access those tools as far as downloading them and having them on their computer, before you guys look into spending more money and buying everyone new laptops, I would look at maybe how much it would cost to purchase like the 360 versions where it's basically online, like the online versions to still access and have access to those Microsoft tools.
Okay,
That's
we
just a
appreciate,
suggestion of something to look into because it may come out to be a little cheaper than you purchasing everyone new laptops.
well, we couldn't afford to purchase everyone
Oh,
new
okay.
laptop. We were only gonna try to do the 5 people that are in the executive committee, the
Yeah,
office.
five times a couple of $100 still may be cheaper. It still may be cheaper it's just a suggestion to maybe possibly look into before, spending the additional money.
I know, I appreciate you telling us that, and we will, explore that with Dale, because he's been
Okay.
a with the Chromebooks. So,
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's also important that JAWS is compatible with
That's a
whatever.
must.
And I'm not saying it isn't, but a school might not have that consideration.
Okay.
well, we actually will reach out, and that's one of the next items that we plan to explore, and that is the internet and setting up a Wi-Fi account. So,
In
so,
addition, can be the licensing can be kind of expensive also, so you have to take into account if you need to add that program into the Chromebooks as well.
Only for someone who needed it. Required.
okay, well, we appreciate all the input, and we will investigate all of this and let you know what we find out, and no later than the next quarterly meeting.
Donnie's, Angela wants.
Yes.
Once the 501c3 papers are filed, Microsoft has a program for not-for-profits that helps set up your whole system, and it's free.
Oh,
Give it to you. So the integration with the different apps and different equipment and devices, we should be able to overcome that.
no, thank you so very much.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. The Miss Whitehurst will be introduced later as a under our new business. Thank you, Miss Whitehurst. Let me see, do I have anything else? The next thing is our bylaws are still pending because we haven't turned them in. We actually completed them and we're in the process of reviewing them before we send them forward. And hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we will be able to do that because we have to give members time to review. We have to give our helpers at Jeremy Morris and Paula and Ed and Mamadou before they become official. So all these people reviewing them, I know they should be dynamite, and hopefully within the next 2 weeks that will be completed because we cannot move forward with the 501c3 without bylaws. And we cannot move forward with our operational manual without the bylaws. And so those are the two major things that we plan to do right away, along with hiring an administrative assistant. Are there any questions? Because I don't recall anything else that I need to discuss, but I do want to ask. I want to ask people from the SILC to update the community programs and events, section 4, about the emergency preparedness, the wellness course. Okay.
This is
Any
LaKenya.
questions?
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'll turn my camera on so everyone can see me. I can talk about those two, the emergency preparedness, which is titled Nothing About Us Without Us, Emergency Preparedness Symposium. We're actually looking to do it July 27th, at the arena stage. We're actually, waiting to finalize that date, from 1 to 4. And I'm really super excited about this because DC SIL is a part of the VOAD coalition, the Volunteers Organization Active in Disaster. And so the executive director, Ben, is helping, we're both collaborating together with getting this event up and running. And so we have several speakers for that event. Also, we're actually now trying to see what donations we can get through for disaster kits that we can give out to the participants. Soon as we have the flyer for that, I will send that flyer to the appropriate persons in the SILC to disperse in the community. As in regards to the wellness classes, I'm still getting all that information together, and hopefully we can start our classes in May for that 8-week. It's through the cerebral palsy organization, and so recruiting people who have cerebral palsy or other physical disability to participate. I also want to mention too something new, that I had a meeting this morning. That's why I was late. Talking with a transportation engineer, through Ann Deschamps, who is the Mid-Atlantic ADA director, and they're bringing their immersion experience to DC in September. So the DC SIL will be part of that sponsor for volunteers, consumers in the community that will do a site walk to determine, accessibility as it relates to the ADA. And so we're getting that all started. We're looking at a tentative date for September 11th of this year. And so I'm really excited about that too. So as information is available, I can, of course, disseminate that information to you guys. And lastly, the DCCIL is hosting a housing event at the Anacostia Library on April 10th.
LaKenya, I want to talk to
Kathy's
you,
there.
yeah. I want to talk to
Kathy.
you a little bit more about that before, because I'm still looking at my emails. I've sent out emails to. I'm still waiting for a couple of people to respond, and they haven't. So that was something I was going to talk to you and Mr. Sims about, because it may have to be pushed back, postponed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
but right now,
Well,
yeah, she's corrected. It was April the 10th.
Okay, well, keep that in your hats.
Yeah.
Keep
Thank
that in
you.
your forefront. Thank you, Kathy, for the update. But keep that in your forefront, because we know that housing is a big challenge and issue everywhere, especially in DC. So keep that in mind. We will be having a housing event, whether it's in April or otherwise. We will be having a housing event. So that's it for DCCIL.
What was the date of the emergency preparedness system?
I cannot hear.
July 27th the emergency preparedness event date?
For
I
FEMA,
think
It
you
will July 27th. We're trying to do July 27th at the arena stage.
and the wellness.
Oh,
One,
the wellness classes is online. So I will be getting more information about that on a later date.
oh, okay. Yeah.
This is Heidi. I'm always gonna speak up. I heard you say arena stage. There may be spaces there that I don't know, but as a wheelchair user, if it's where they do plays and stuff, it's very inaccessible.
Well,
And
let me
very limited wheelchair seats, but maybe they have other space I'm unaware of.
I think they do, but I'm gonna talk to Ben about that because he knows that the participants is gonna be um people with disabilities. So let me talk about that with him because they hold some of their VOAB meetings there. And so let me just double check with him about other spaces that might be available there because I haven't been there before. So let me double check with him, okay, and then I can give you a definite answer because we're actually looking for a space and big enough to hold vendors and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get back to you because that's very important to make sure people with disabilities can access. And one more thing before I close, Heidi and others, the DC SIL is actually adding another support group. I have an intern who is a wheelchair user at American University, and she will be facilitating a new support group, wheelchair user support group. And we're actually recruiting for participants for that advocacy peer group. So if you know anyone that's interested in becoming a part of that peer group, please let me know. Thanks.
This is Brittany Stuckey. So I can kind of speak to the accessibility just because we went there for their last disaster relief event. So it really depends on where they decide to have it. So the last time where they had it, it was accessible because that door is it's on a flat surface, and I use a cane, and I didn't have issues. They weren't steps in that entrance, so it depends on which entrance you use, but also what part of the building they're using. If they use that part of the building that we were in before, then it should be accessible because it's two different sides, but there aren't any stairs that you need to access, and it's all flat.
Okay, good, because it will be the same room that they usually hold their events in. So I'll just double check that with Ben. Thanks, Brittany.
No problem.
Excuse me, LaKenya, I went there for my first COVID shot with a couple of the residents of the Phyllis Wheatley, and because that's after the renovations, so I don't know where Brittany Stuckey was at, but where we were, it was right when you walked in. I noticed that there were rooms behind the glass section in the middle, but where we went to get our injections and everything was right there when you walked in. Like Brittany said, it is accessible by either door entrance.
Well, yeah,
I was
I,
speaking to
I will
where you.
confirm that. Okay, I will confirm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me see. So,
I have a brief summary.
you,
Yeah. I left my computer home, so I'm doing it from memory. This is Robin, the chair. I need to set a date for April to meet to plan out for the youth summit forum. Because we had said in January that we would set a date for April. And I'm gonna give out the dates that I'm available. And that is April 7th and 8th, April 13th, and the 17th, April 20th, 21st, 22nd.
And this is just the.
It's just a meet the plan for the youth, the combined youth, summit forum that we usually hold at the Park Plaza Hotel. That in the past it had been in Kellogg's building that Dr. valued at University. Because in January, we did say that we would set a date for April, so I'm giving out the dates that I'm available, so if y'all could get back to me by email or calling me, I will appreciate it so we can set a date for the planning of that. Any questions? And as for hearing the good news that this bill has been accepted, that we can move on, hopefully once the funds get released, that we can finish the updating of our literatures of the business cards, the brochures, and the letterhead. And to get our own website. We had a meeting with one company, myself, Donnie and Brittany Stuckey at the SILC. We had a couple of Zoom meetings with, I forget the name of the company. And that was about it for my summary, because we were working on the spill and doing the PPR from January until the beginning of this month, March.
In terms of the website and internet, we need 3 vendors. We want to submit the names of 3 vendors. So if anyone knows or has a suggestion or experience with any vendors, please let me or Robin know as soon as you can.
This is Brittany Stuckey. That's already been done. We did that last year. So that's already been submitted.
Yeah, but this is a new fiscal year. We need to know if the prices have changed or whatever. And if the people are still willing to do business with us. It's been a long gap. So that's just, so is that for 1 vendor or 3?
I submitted multiple of them. So I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we need to just, if that's the case, we need to contact them and see if they're still willing to do business with us, see if the prices have changed and submit them as soon as possible.
I think the issue also is that based on the budget, what was allotted for that specific the budget for that thing was much less than what the market rate is. So they would have to amend it so that it can be paid for as well.
We've already visited that, but we haven't come up with a price. So
already
that's considered.
Okay.
Okay.
I've also asked our folks internally if they knew any website vendors too. Could have been, don't need it, just let me know too, but either way, I'll give you guys that information. Once we get some quotes from Brittany too. Brittany second.
Okay. All right, I'm finished with my report. Now we can go on to item 8, with recruitment report by Brittany Tarver.
So guys, there's no update from Mona. Again, we are working on their timeline. And right now, appointments that aren't essential appointments are at the very bottom of this. We have no control or, escalating that or making it more of a priority. So again, if you don't hear from me, it's not because I forgot. It really is because there are just no updates on where the folks are in the process. But also knowing how long this process is, if there are people who may be interested, I'm also happy to help them start the process as early as possible, knowing that you just don't know how long it's going to take, but at least getting your application done. So if there's folks that you're interested in, send them my way. I can walk them through the application, help them fill it out, and then let Mona know that an application has been sent. Also, just want to let you guys know again, confidentiality is important to them. So I don't know everyone who has applied unless they have worked with me to apply, and they're not gonna give me a list of applicants. Without letting them know. So they really wanna make sure, I really wanna make sure that you know, if you're asking me who all is like in the line, if they didn't apply with me, they won't tell me their names until they have been appointed.
I'm concerned about that because the last time that I spoke with Jeremy in terms of the amendment, they wanted us to include the names of the possibilities.
Well, the only.
So I'm gonna have to bring that up,
Yeah,
that that's not possible,
possibilities that we can include are people who I help.
that we know already.
Yeah, or if you know personally, oh, my friend applied, you can tell them, Jeremy, that, but they're not gonna just give me names of people who.
I may not be able to add those names if it's a confidentiality.
Yeah, I mean, they take that very seriously, so,
Yeah.
Until they're appointed, because obviously that is, for the public to know too. Exactly, yeah, so until they're appointed, you know, again, if I didn't call them specifically, I won't know on the list.
I know, because they wouldn't even, I mean, that's why we have you, because they wouldn't even give me or Robin the list of names.
But I think what we can focus on our end is getting folks excited to apply, getting folks even involved, even through the application process, and then also just continuing the goals that we have here with our 501c3, with our events, because although we don't members, we also want to be an active organization.
And we want people to know that we are actually doing something.
Yeah, exactly. So if there are people again that you guys want me to reach out to, I'm happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, old business? Is there any old business?
Well, basically, the old business that we talked about was the
report of what Kenya reported on. So that's the old business.
That was the old business, and also the website. Oh, and the activities. Is there any additional old business that we may have missed? Does anybody want to report any old business? Okay, moving on to new business. I would like to, just for your information, introduce Miss Angie Whitehurst. Ms. Whitehurst will give a couple of statements about joining us possibly as an administrative assistant. Some of you may remember her as a potential board member from the open house. But we found out she has skills that we want to investigate. and because we needed an experienced administrative assistant, she has agreed to be interviewed by competent members of the SILC. Would you like to say anything?
I look forward to working with you with the approved. I also realize that it is more than part-time. The things that you're doing requires a lot more time, full-time.
Right.
And I'm willing to do that. So when I get tired, I'll quit.
At least you're honest. Thanks.
That could be next week.
True.
I'll stick it out because it is important.
Right.
And you don't have budget for it.
Yeah. So, Edward, had an announcement that he wanted to make. We're moving on. Well, one thing, is there any other new business before we go to announcements?
Yes, I wanted to mention the issue with, Metro, public transportation and Metro access. I have received complaints through the city, just riding on the bus about the better bus. That they, started in, what was it, September? Was it September? I think it
Starts July
July.
first.
July first.
Updated it again in December.
And I myself ran into a problem, to attend one
I
of
want
our.
to apologize, you all. I'm really sorry, but I can't really hear. It sounds like mumbling for
Okay.
some reason. I'm not sure why, but I apologize to interrupt.
Is this
Howard,
okay?
thanks for letting us know.
Wait a minute, we got a microphone?
Yeah, we should have this in the beginning. It's okay.
Can you hear me now, Kathy?
He's laughing.
But your voice keeps going down.
Sounds a lot better.
No.
Okay, we got a mic. Okay, the issue is about Metro.
Can you hear better now?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Thank you for letting us know.
the issue is with the, Metro transportation and Metro access. There have been complaints in the community as I ride the bus for the People for the Better Bus, a program that initiated on,
Hello.
July 1st. Hello?
Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna have to call you right back. I'm on a Zoom call.
Okay, so, and then they upgraded it a couple months after July 1st. And the problem is they have taken away not just bus stops, but they have taken away bus routes. And the distance from how far people have to walk to get to the nearest bus stop. And plus now you have to take an additional 1 or 2 more buses to get to your destination. Because the original route, for me to get to Wisconsin Avenue, I was attending an event for Ms. Heidi Case's, advocacy group that I've been with for the DMV Disabled Seniors Community Group. And we have an event, an annual event that we celebrate for each other's birthday, since we were unable to meet last year for many. So we did it, and I had to take 3 buses to get to Maggiano's from 901 Rhode Island Avenue, when normally all I had to do was walk to 7th and R Street, get on either one of the buses that go straight to the archives, and transfer to the bus right there, 7th and Pennsylvania. I did that. Thank God for the bus driver. They told me I have to get on another bus once I get on I Street. So there is like there's 1 or 2 more buses that you have to take to get to your destination just by bus within the District of Columbia. I have not asked anybody on my way to Silver Springs, how is their better bus system working out? Because I really don't know many that take the bus out there that is in that group for the disabled seniors group of the DMV. So now for the other issue is Metro access. Myself, Donnie's, and Heidi, and Kim have had problems with Metro access.
Every week.
They don't come and pick you up. They don't even call you to tell you they're not coming. Then when you call them, they say they're gonna send somebody, then they don't send anybody. Last year, this is my 2nd year with Metro access. And my problem was I arrived late for important events because of that problem. And the issue is, the other thing is when you call and you request either a taxi or Uber, Metro Access does have the right address. You get a text message and it says they're gonna pick you up at your address. But once it gets to Uber, for some reason, they get some crazy address. It's not even my home address to get me to my destination. So it took me 2.5 hours to get to the seniors annual Christmas event in Southeast at the tennis rec center. I had to take a $7 cab because the Uber they kept saying was coming, and then it went to 901 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. I live at 901 Rhode Island Avenue Northwest. I am attending this month's Project Action, their in-person meeting. They have a meeting once a month, and it will be at 1 Judiciary Square And Christopher Blake is going to be there and he's going to hear from us.
Yes.
Because this is getting out of hand. Donnice has been late coming here. She has been
Late
to
coming
get there.
anywhere, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
was late
unacceptable.
yesterday.
It's unacceptable. And
Yes.
they need to do better.
And it's Christian, it's not Christopher.
oh,
Christian Blake.
Christian, sorry. Does anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I would like to add something.
Hold
Oh,
on.
specifically for.
Say who you are,
transportation?
Edward.
Yes, so I was at a vet's place, you know, the DC, the vet place, in southwest, off of Martin Luther King Avenue. You go down right really close to the police academy where they train the dogs. If you have to go to the vet, you have to go walk all the way down. Once you take the 17, you have to walk all the way down and, you know, past construction, past the police academy, just to get to the vet. There is no bus stop over there. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is wrong? Why can't they have a bus stop there? What about the aging population? What about individuals with wheelchairs or mobility chairs who have pets, who need to make a vet appointment? How are they supposed to get down there? You can't just depend on Uber. You can't just depend solely on cars. Not everyone has that. When we have public vets, you know, that are funded with DC Health, they need to be having in locations that are accessible to all people of the community. That place is not, and I'll update you on the address and all that later on. Oh, and also I wanted to know the DC Developmental Disability Council is going to be having a public meeting today. And you guys are welcome to register in advance. It starts from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. March 19, 2026. That is today. And then they're gonna have a pre-meeting at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., which is the public.
I want to go. Oh yeah, I want to go back to because I catch this is Kathy Fleming, and I want to go back to the bus. I mean, I'm trying to. I don't know. Maybe somebody there can help me out with this, but I don't know who was on what planning committee they had. I know Darnice and Robin had mentioned this in the past when we had talked about it, because I don't think it was a lot of people from the disability community in the planning stages with these metro buses, because as Robin stated, it takes about 3 buses for me to get to my home from here from the center. And then I still have to walk from the metro station. So I'm not even home. So when it's dark, I'm just, you know, giving my prayers to the Lord, because you just never know. Because no, seriously, I'm walking from the metro, and it's just you know, just all of these different buses, and you don't know. So I'm in a habit now that when I'm on the bus, it's just looking at all of the bus, like it's gotten addictive. So I look at all the bus signs and see which bus go where and where this bus, and if you ride past the bus stop, I look at all the bus numbers to see, okay, well, this bus, if I ever have to come this way, then I need to get on this bus. If I have to go this way, I need to get on. Even if I'm riding in the car, I just have a habit of looking at all the bus stops now, just to determine if I have to come in this direction, if I have to go downtown, if I have to go anywhere, how would I, you know, other than just doing a planning on Metro plan trip. But yeah, something needs to be done, because it's really gotten out of it's just really awful for the, you know, like Robin was saying, every stop don't stop at every stop like it used to. You have to walk a couple of blocks to get on the bus. Where at one point you could just walk almost out the door and be able to get on the bus stop. But I just wanted to just say that I've recognized the same thing with the metro buses.
I hope that you know that it's not just the buses, it's also the subway lines. The subway lines.
Okay, I see. I don't do too much the subway, but because I catch the bus every day, I have noticed it on the bus. Yeah.
Sometimes the buses will drive right past you in the southeast. I have never seen that happen before.
I have driven my wheelchair. And if there was a bus that myself in a wheelchair and a person that was blind with a cane and the bus driver did that, and he had to stop at a stoplight. And I put my wheelchair in front of his bus. Before I had done that, we created a whole scene, all kind of people. But yes, yes, yes. And there isn't, we have been complaining even ahead of time, before they made the changes. Why are you not seeking this community's input? Who is public transportation designed for? Is people often don't have access to other modes of transportation, can't afford, can't drive their car, and all of those things. And I think it's wonderful. It's just one voice, but to go to the meeting where Christian Blake will be, but the actual place of decision, the power. And I have shut down the Metro Board meeting with a bunch of disability advocates in the past. And we need to plan another one.
Yes, and I'll be
They
involved.
need to hear our voice.
Yes, they do.
So that's my spiel.
Okay.
I do have two
Thank you.
announcements, but if we're not moving, when we're moving on.
Well, you can go ahead, since you.
All right, just quick. One is, and back to that mention of housing, Kathy. Whenever I know of wheelchair accessible housing, affordable in the district, I want to put it out to the people who need that information. There was a new building, affordable senior housing built, all new. Mayor touted it on the front pages of the Washington Post in Friendship Heights. And we now currently have an opening. It's fully wheelchair accessible, but the whole building, rails along the hallways, all of the accessibility features. You must have a housing voucher. So put that out. If you know anyone that fits that, and do not have to, the way the law is, only 80% of the people in that housing actually have to be 62 and older. So it is open to anyone. So I just spread the news. Let's get a person with a disability in a wheelchair accessible apartment, or maximizing whatever accessibility they need. 1, 2, we're meeting our DMV group. We have our weekly meeting tonight, but we are putting together a list to send to candidates, a survey on disability issues. Trying to get these candidates at this time, when they're seeking everybody's approval and endorsement, to fill it out and get some answers. Once we do that and have a draft, if there's any other groups that would like us to share those questions and give us input, we will be open to adding, changing whatever's needed. But this is another way we can use our power at this moment in time to try to get candidates before they're elected to make commitments.
I have a question. Because we're DMV, are we doing that for people across the DMV? DC,
No, our
Maryland,
group is
Virginia?
focused on the DC at this
Just
point.
DC.
I'm not, we could be open, but I'm just
Virginia
saying
has it,
that's our goal for tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have a concern with libraries adopting policies that are not in compliance with the American with Disabilities Act.
Yes, they don't let people take their cards and, yes.
They're having family restrooms that are specifically designed for individuals with mobility chairs and for little people. And they're saying, so I came across one library where they said, oh, this bathroom is specifically for only little people, but it's a family bathroom. What about people with mobility chairs? How are they supposed to utilize those bathrooms? That bathroom is specifically designed to have more space for those individuals with disabilities. And, they're not solely for little people. So I think that this library has adopted that policy in that specific location, and it's going to be brought up because when they are enforcing those rules, they're not in compliance with the American with Disabilities Act. And DC Public Library must be in compliance with federal guidelines. And just as important as keeping little people safe, we need to represent all people in the community. That's just as important, you know. And so I had to remind the library about that, and I brought it to the attention of the director.
The other thing about the library, you can no longer go in with a cart, any size cart. You can't bring in your cart, you can't have a backpack. You're not allowed to come into the library with
Certain size backpack.
a certain
They
size.
Police are there at the MLK library actually stopping people and forcing people to leave it outside. Even in that cold weather, sorry,
They had to leave it
That-
out, all the way
all
outside
the
and
way
not in
out,
the library.
not even right outside to the edge of the sidewalk curb.
Oh, well, that's,
Yeah, and then they're telling you to go all the way upstairs to these smaller bathrooms. How is somebody in a mobility chair going to fit? The first floor bathroom is the doors are not wide enough. The third floor bathrooms, they're small. Nobody in a wheelchair is going to be able to fit in those third floor bathrooms. I'm going to go back and measure those doors again, because I assure you that the first floor and the third floor are not in compliance with the American Disabilities Act, which is why they have that second floor bathroom. But then they only want kids to utilize it, which is concerning to me.
I recommend reaching out to the new interim ODR director, pioneer member of the DMV, Peter Stevens, that the mayor just appointed. I think that he would be very responsive. Would be a good place to start, FYI.
Thank you.
Hey,
are there any other announcements?
This is for everybody's information. The library has been a problem for years. And the easiest library used to be the one at 23rd and L. They had open door policy. They were civil and humane. But the libraries now, they have like a security company they contract. And their security rules do not allow for cards or any or things that
That's
are
new
just.
DC legislation. Our city council voted for these requirements.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm just saying that's how
Like,
it
so
happened.
I want to point out the security issue from their standpoint and the ignorance of the people who run the buildings, who are in charge, their facility managers. And so, Heidi, you're right. It takes getting a group together.
Bring 100 protesters out in front.
But you need to document all the things that they are doing and to show that they are discriminatory and not necessary.
Well, I was, this Kathy Fleming again. I think that it may be at different libraries, because I'm at the Anacostia Library on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I see a lot of homeless people bringing every bag that they have inside the library. And they sit right beside them. They got all kinds of trash bags that they have right there beside them. And there is a security guard on staff there. And they come in, they're regulars, and they're there when they are there on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I'm there, and they there with all kinds of bags. And they bring in their little cots and all what stuff. So I'm just saying that's what I see over in Southeast. I'm not at every library. Huh?
That shouldn't be a problem, as long as they're not carrying weapons, as long as they're not, then it doesn't matter what they've been bringing in.
That's true. I'm agreeing with that. It doesn't bother me. Oh, it doesn't bother me. I mean, it doesn't affect me. Because that's their home. That's their personal their stuff. They homeless. Yeah. So
we want to meet
I'm
them
just saying what I see when I'm at the Anacostia Library.
Yeah, and when I was at Bellevue Library in Congress Heights, I had to have a conversation with the manager over there early in the morning, because I'm having this lady say to me, "Oh yeah, you can't even use the family restroom." I said, "I would like to use the family restroom for my needs. Where is the family restroom?" And she said, "You have to go upstairs on the third floor." I utilized the third floor that day, and I noticed that the third floor bathrooms are much smaller and not accessible for individuals with mobility chairs. And I said, this needs to stop. Who has adopted this policy? I looked at DC's policy. They have adopted that policy, and that policy is not in compliance with the American Disabilities Act. And I will be bringing it attention with Martin Luther King's library at 901 G Street, or wherever, the Martin Luther King Library, they have all those executive people. They need to hear about it because, accessibility is just as important as keeping little kids safe, little people safe. So find something that works for both of them.
I'm in agreement with that because we just had an event over there at the Shaw Library, and they have a downstairs bathroom, but the lady said that we couldn't use the downstairs bathroom. Now this is convenient for our meeting that we had, but we had to go all the way upstairs on the third floor. Of course, the elevator was working, but if somebody who couldn't keep their have trouble with their bladder, that's a lot to do when it's a bathroom outside of the meeting room. So I said, she said, well, the security guard is down here, so they can't open up that bathroom. I said, that's just weird to me because you can't open up that bathroom, but you're going to inconvenience people to get on the elevator and go all the way upstairs, search for this restroom, and there's only one restroom up there on that second floor. I think it was the second floor, but it was just crazy that they couldn't open up that bathroom. If they having problems with youth coming in there or somebody coming in there doing something wrong, then they need to address that part. Don't inconvenience everybody because you're having a problem with one group of people. That just doesn't make sense. But at any rate, yeah.
So, any other comments?
Thank you.
My only comment would be that, we could have a membership keep notes about that and take it to the city council. Because the council has a chairperson that's over libraries. So if we start there and then,
I have video, I have document proof of the second
try to
floor.
keep the dates and times, and the location.
I think it's very important because the second floor bathroom, there's only one bathroom on the second floor. Hi.
Hi,
So
can
then
I,
they-
this is LaKenya. Can I make a comment really quick?
Yes.
I do want to address anytime that you are advocating for accessibility in any facility that's covered under Title II or Title III, to make sure it's to look at the law for the standards. Because it's one thing saying, hey, you're advocating, oh, there's not accessible bathrooms, but put the law back on them so they'll know, hey, under the ADA or under these standards, go and look at it, what section is under, so you guys will be educated and informed. And so they would know, hey, I'm just not talking around my neck. This is the standard for it. So just want to make that known.
And this is Darnice. Even though something may be out of compliance with the ADA, they have no way of knowing if you do not complain. You have to complain in writing. It's very important to know the date, the time, and how it affected you as a person with a disability. That you were, not satisfied. You could have been hurt. It could have been a safety issue or something. So please let people know. Are there any other comments?
No.
Because at that, the meeting will be adjourned.
This is Brittany Stuckey. I have a comment. I
Yes.
think that for efficiency and time, there needs to be subcommittee set up because at this point it's the same group of people doing a lot of the tasks. So at some point, everybody should decide what committee or what skills they have that they can help provide or assist with, because it's the same people doing everything.
Well, I can agree with that, except for we don't have that many members right now. And
Yeah,
it's a lot of work to do right now to get to the point. So that we can move forward, because we're really trying to hurry up and get to where we can apply for the 501c3. And we know the items that have to be done before then. So unfortunately, we are gonna have to grin and bear it and work with an administrative assistant, an executive director, and a chair, and a couple of few people that we have stressed out to death until we get to that point that we can actually have more members. I mean, I'm stretched thin, and I think everybody else is, but I can't assign or say that we assign task force right now because we don't have the many members. If you have a better idea.
I've been sharing the flyer for DC Center for Independent Living Council, looking for new members that fit within the bylaws that SILC has created. I've handed it to the Center for LGBTQ+ community. I've handed them a whole bunch of flyers. I have handed these flyers all around for other nonprofits, and I've been encouraging them to join the council if they are willing. And so hopefully we can fill these roles up, and hopefully, we can get it moving like Donnie said. Here you go.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, the meeting is adjourned then. Going once, twice, 3 times. We will see you. The next meeting is when? Robin?
It is.
I believe the next meeting is in May.
May 21st.
They're bi-monthly.
May 21st.
Mm-hmm.
May 21st. Got it.
Mayor, then, is that, we ended?
Yeah, May 21st.
Oh.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
Oh yeah, Robin has to say it.
Just like a